going on, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of Multifamily Monday. I'm here as always with my co-host and business partner, Paul Rodriguez. Paul, how we doing today, my friend?
Great. We're going to talk about some interesting stuff on the pod today. I'm excited.
Me too. As you all know, it's Multifamily Monday, so what do we think we're going to talk about? Maybe some multifamily. But what we're going to talk about for the most part is just kind of our first deal that we kind of talked about last week. So, Paul, I'll let you kind of start us off here and give us a little bit of an overview of what we're going to do. But I'm very excited to be here and talk to the people today. So let's do it.
So our first deal in multifamily, we had an opportunity. It was great, but we learned one great lesson in pitching this deal. It was that there's two types of people. There's the people that get really excited about the projections, what the property could be, what it could grow to. And then there's people that are purely driven on the numbers, cold, hard numbers. And so some people try to sell you on the pro forma, or like the estimate of what a property can do. And then other people like us, are driven based on, does it cash flow? Is it in a good area, et cetera, et cetera. And so our first deal was really interesting because we were brought to these people by a connection of ours that we just met. We made really great relationship with Alex Roshke. He brings us to Jason Park's wife, and we're pitching this deal. And the first one we say, we're like, hey, this is a great property. It's in this awesome area. He runs the numbers and he's like, no, next. Just like that. Like there was no, there was no conversation about it. It was just done. The numbers didn't make sense. I don't care what the pro forma is. That's not reality. On to the next one. We pitch him the next one. He's like, okay, the numbers make sense. Let's look into that one deeper. And so I just think that when you start operating in that fashion where you're just like, okay, let's run the cap rate on this. Let's compare it based on the market, based on that local market. Does the cap rate make sense? We use Cap Rate Index. Is a great website, show you the average cap rate in whatever zip code or county you're in, and you just run it that way. And life becomes so much more simple because you don't get emotionally attached to these deals. It's just, do the numbers make sense? Yes, no, maybe so.
Yeah, absolutely, dude. And like you were saying, people who, no offense to these people, but if you're running pro formas and you're trying to sell pro formas, we got to talk, man, because especially if it's not fully stabilized, if it's not 100% occupancy, if there's not every room is like full and being rented out, you can't go off of a pro forma. It's like going to Narnia and be like, yeah, this is the real world here. Like, you just can't do that. So Paul, you hit it right on the head. Excuse me. Like we're trying to get the actual numbers, the financials, the cap rates, the IRR, anything we can, any type of like value add opportunities, even management. It doesn't have to just be like adding more units. It could be maybe there's a gym, that's not being utilized, then you could turn that into like some different, either like a clubhouse type deal or more rooms. You could try to lower the bottom line. Just kind of anything that you can do to make the cash flow monthly, the NOI, go up, especially after everything. That's what it's all about. Does the asset cash flow? Can we make money? And are there more ways to make more money on this? So, yeah, I completely agree with you, brother. That's exactly what we're looking for. But with the Jason Park situation, it was crazy how we pitched three deals. One of them was like, okay, yeah, I'll listen to that. The other two were like, yeah, we are not gonna waste our time here. So this is the big leagues, folks, when you're in multifamily and commercial deals, that people don't want their time wasted. They want to hear the real solid numbers and if it actually will make sense, or else they're just gonna move on to the next one.
And I think that ties into our next point, which is you make money on the buy, not the sell, right? I
Absolutely.
think I think it's really hard to make an argument that if you buy a property discounted, that it's really easy to make money. Like if you're buying a property that is a little, you're paying a little bit more than you should, you can get caught up really easily, and it's a really fast way to lose the shirt on your back, like over something that you could have just said no to, right? So if you discipline yourself in the beginning and say, hey, these are my numbers, I can spend up to this amount, right? And if it goes over that amount, you walk away from the deal because it's not realistic for you. As long as you know your numbers and you're sticking to that, you will make your money all the time on the buy. And then, when you do sell, whatever that looks like, in whatever fashion you sell it, you're still going to make money because you bought it
Yeah.
at such a great price in the beginning. And that's why it's
Yeah.
like you spend your whole life preparing to strike at one time, and that one time can be the difference between, you know, not really getting anything and being, very well off.
100%, dude. And one thing I was hearing, which you might get a kick out of this, over the weekend, I saw something on social media saying that people who are in multifamily are lazy. Um, which I can understand where they're coming from, because if you have like 25 single family homes, right? You liquidate that all, 1031 it into a nice multifamily deal, and then you don't have to worry about all the property management and all that kind of stuff. I can see where it's lazy, but I disagree with that. I think getting a multifamily deal to the closing table is probably one of the hardest things you could probably do, because everything has to go so right the whole way that if one thing falls out of place, it's like Jenga, you take one little tile out and it's all coming down, and then you're back to square one. But Paul, what do you think about that, my man? What's your opinion on it?
To say lazy, I think is kind of a disservice to the people that are in the space, just because, like you said, Mike, it's such a more competitive space because there's only a small pool of buyers, right? Like, I would say 99% of the general population can buy a single family property because they have a use for it, right? They can put a bed in there, they can move their family in there, they can put furniture in there, and all of a sudden they've got a house, right? But I would say 1% of the general population is transacting in these bigger deals, right? Anything over 4 units, like or commercial properties, whether it's skyscrapers or strip malls, whatever the case may be, there's a very small percentage of people that are going to buy those things. And so it becomes a very competitive space. And like you said, Mike, there's so many moving parts and so many variables that like you said, everything has to go perfect. Otherwise, it just goes sideways, the deal falls apart, and then you can't market it to the majority of people. You can only market it to that 1%. So you have to really know what you're doing. But I wouldn't say lazy. I would say it's a different speed that you're running at. It's a
Right.
different level of competition.
Little hurry up and wait game. That's what I like to go. It's just like golf. You got to hurry up, hit your shot, and then you wait as you're, waiting for the group in front of you to get off the green or whatever. It's very similar feeling in my opinion. But yeah, it's still a great world and fun world to live in and be in, and we're very grateful and happy to be where we are. Long road still ahead, obviously, but there's a lot of great things going on, multifamily, single family wise for us right now. That can't wait to make some content for you guys. That's all. That's all we're gonna give you right there on that one. But Paul, anything else you want to talk about multifamily wise or commercial wise? I'm all ears, my friend.
Yeah, I would say if you guys are sitting at home, you're wondering how you can get into multifamily, how you can get into commercial deals, I would say get in proximity with those people that are doing the deals. Go to your local meetups, make sure they're vetted, like it's a legitimate company that's putting those things on. Go there, talk to people, and just be a fly on the wall. See the way that people are transacting, the way that they're talking, and try to find a way to bring value to that person. Don't ask them, hey, what kind of value can I bring to your operation? It's like Tim Yu said it best. It's like, why do I have to think what you can do for me? It makes no sense. Find out interpret whatever that value is, bring it to the table, and all of a sudden you'll be doing deals before you know it. So I would say
Absolutely.
get around winners.
Oh yeah, yeah. It's like Pace always says, right? It's not who you know; it's who knows you. And I have one thing for the folks at home here, for all you viewers and watchers. If you come to VCI with a commercial deal, I'm going to ask you one acronym: DYDD. Paul, do you have an idea of what that might be?
No, but I'm so excited to hear what it is.
Did you do? Oh, sorry, DYDDD. Did you do why? Is there a couple more? Did you do your due diligence? That's what I'm going to ask him. I was trying to make an acronym off the top of my head there and didn't really go well from old Mikey here. But, we'll give it another try next week. But did you do your due diligence? DYD. Whatever. We'll have something down on the screen for you. You'll love it. But yeah, we really focus on due diligence. Do you have the financials? Do you have everything that, like a rent roll, depending on obviously what kind of property it is? But come correct. Bring all the things you could use to make it in the best light for you. You want to go into these with like a sense of authority. You want to be coming from a place of power, not a place of like desperation where you're like, please buy my deal, kind of like what we did in Florida in the gym. No offense to us, but you got to come in the right way because they've been doing this a long time. They want to not waste their time. They want to get right to the point and see if this is a deal that they can actually do, or if it's for somebody they know, or it's just not for us. Let's hear another one.
Did you do your due diligence?
Yep.
Best question you could ever ask somebody. Folks, thank you so much for everything. I really appreciate everybody watching. If you got to the end, give us a like, comment, subscribe. Make sure you're tapped into all our socials. I'm VCI_Paul. He's VCI_Mike. We're on all socials, and we're here to provide value. So if you guys have questions, feel free to leave them down below.
Come on, let's get them answered. We'll see y'all next week.